Seemed like my guy was a fan of everything. It's like, oh, you said shoe. I'm going to cry in the corner. Yeah, Albert, you suck. Fuck Albert, you stupid bitch.
Hey, everybody, and welcome back to Beyond the Controller. I'm Gladys, and joining me once again is Cryptic Panther.
Hey, everybody.
Uberyoutuber.
Hello, everybody.
And I am happy to say that we can officially welcome back Fatti to the squad, the new daddy. Welcome back, dude.
Woo! Thank you.
Woo! Congrats.
Yeah,
Thanks.
good to have you back. We missed you, and it's really, really sad to see you miss that Russian fishing episode.
Yeah.
You guys definitely seem to have a lot of fun without me. You know? I watched that, and a little part of me died inside. I looked at my son, and I was like, why?
the first hour was Bobber watching Simulator. But yeah, anyways, we had a rather divisive new game of the week that you got to enjoy with us, didn't you?
Yeah. Well, most of us enjoyed it.
Most of us enjoyed it. 3 of us. Yeah, but I mean, for the price of the, anyways, no, you know what? We'll get into it.
Yeah,
We'll get to that. We'll get to that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it'll be a good discussion, I think.
Yeah.
A fun one at least.
Yeah.
Yeah. You sensitive bitch.
Damn.
All right. So let's get back to the gaming news. Of course, as with every episode, we've got a lot to get to, and realistically, we will not do that. So let's go ahead and start off running. Panther, talk to us about something that's got a little bit of importance to you.
Yeah, so it's not new news. It's an important topic, though. I mean, back at E3, and even a little bit before E3, there was some leaked information. I'm going to link 2 articles on this in the description, by the way. But yeah, Microsoft announced the Xbox Adaptive Controller for players with disabilities. So it's pretty neat, and I haven't researched it in depth greatly, other than just reading through the article. But it has 2 large programmable buttons. It has like 19 jacks that can be connected to a range of joysticks, buttons, and switches to make it easier for a wide range of people to play Xbox One and Windows 10 PC games. I know there's, I think, a company, I don't know if it's the same company or another one that's working with, I don't know if it's directly with Sony or they're working on like getting controllers made for other platforms and not just Xbox. But Microsoft and Xbox and this company have kind of really joined up and really hit the ground running with this new controller for people with disabilities. The article that kind of caught my eye recently was the one where they're saying Microsoft's adaptive controller has a packaging that gamers with disabilities can open without their teeth. So even people that have 2 hands, you know, packaging can be a fucking giant pain in the ass. So they come up with this really cool box design. So someone that has limited use of their hands have an easy time opening the box. And I'm like, Jesus, right down to the box they've thought of, you know, to make it easy open. So I'm impressed with that. The reason it kind of hits close to home is 2 reasons. Is my brother many years ago was in an accident and he lost one of his arms. So he does game. He has played a different range of games, but mostly on PC the last 2 years because controllers are hard with 1 hand. Anyone that plays any games knows that 2 hands are needed for a controller and for a PC as well for most games. So he's adapted himself pretty well, using like, you know, different map buttons and a mouse with extra buttons on it as well. So something like this, I don't know, I mean, if he's ever looked at it or not, but I'm definitely going to bring it up and mention and get him to look into it and see if it's something that he could use. But also for myself, is I have a hereditary disease that over time I have a chance of losing dexterity and stuff with my hands, my extremities, mostly my hands and my feet. And I already have some issues with my left hand, and I'm left-handed. So like gripping a pen to write and stuff was a little awkward and uncomfortable. Not pain-wise, just because it doesn't fit in my hand like it should. Using a controller is fine, and even a mouse and keyboard is fine because my fingers work. They just have a little bit of less grip strength than I'm definitely used to, and also some numbness, so they don't quite have the same texture or touch texture for touch sensitivity, I guess, as my other fingers do. And lucky enough, my right hand, as of right now, has no issues. So, like I said, it may never get to the point where I may need something like this, but the fact that they've really pushed forward and worked with these people and this company and with the backing that Microsoft has given them to design something, I'm impressed with that. Extremely impressed.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's always, great for companies to be inclusive and to think of those things as well. But that they've, like you said, even down to the packaging. I mean, that's pretty damn awesome.
Yeah, I mean, if in the article I'm linking, there's like a little GIF playing of like it's like the box. You sit there and it's just like a piece of pull off tape to open it up, and then when you get to the actual controller box, it's like a little flap and a little hand. It's fucking neat. Anyone that even has a slight indication of someone that could have some disability or now or later on in life, we should look at this because this is pretty fucking cool. I think it's badass.
I think it's cool that they're kind of bringing some normalcy to it. I know some people who have physical disabilities, they often find themselves feeling really down on themselves, like they feel like they're not normal, and this is sort of bringing it to the forefront, saying like you can do everything that everyone else does, and this is how you can do it. So it's really nice to see them sort of bring that and say, don't feel down because you're just as good as everyone else.
Yeah, so like,
cool.
it definitely opens doors for people too.
Yeah, exactly.
And I mean, not just disabilities range from a different like complete range. Like I said, I may have some limitations with the use of one of my hands, but like I said, my brother has lost one arm completely. So there's definitely, like I said, in the end, like there's a lot more for me to look into and learn, and also like even my brother's decided with something to look at this or to continue playing the way he currently does. But I mean, just the fact that they've put like the effort to do this is awesome. So I do hope there's other companies out there that jump right on this train and get right on it and include everybody on every console.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, accessibility is awesome. I mean, this shows that virtually everybody can play video games, right? And for some people who may have some physical disabilities who can't do other things, they may not be able to go outside and play soccer or play basketball. Video games are that escape for those people and people that they may that may be their thing, that's really what they love to do. So being able to give that, just making it accessible to everyone or mostly everyone is really awesome. So kudos to them for doing that.
Big time.
Definitely. All right, moving on here. Fatti, talk to us about a Fallout 4, a new item that people can get their hands on.
Yeah, there is a Fallout recipe book hitting our way to teach us the culinary ways of the wasteland. It is called the Vault Dwellers Official Cookbook, and it will be released on October 23rd. And it's going to feature some real-life recipes that you can cook in your kitchen inspired by foods that you'd find in the Fallout universe throughout the games. And it'll basically guide hopeful cooks in making things like Mirelurk egg omelets, Deathclaw meat steaks, and my favorite, Blamco trademarked mac and cheese. And so it's kind of a quirky way to get people, get people who are interested in the game to get into the kitchen and make some cool stuff. A book like this was also made for World of Warcraft for food based on the game there, and it's looking like it'll be a little pricey. At least if you're Canadian, it's going to be $41.41 Canadian on Amazon, but that's like $2 American. So you guys,
right? Yeah,
pretty much.
Damn. Well, that'll go great at nerd parties, though. I mean, like obviously with us gamers, we tend to stick to our circle. We're friendly with a lot of other gamers. So, I mean, I naturally gravitate towards other people in a conversation that I know are gamers. And especially, with the four of us here, I'm sure you guys all do the same, with doing a podcast and everything like that. We're pretty well informed and we play a huge variety. So with just about any gamer out there, even if I don't like the same games, there's still stuff to talk about. So doing something like this is actually kind of nice because it's a way to be inclusive and social and, have a group setting. Sometimes if you have people over or whatever, you could say, check this out. This is awesome. Or possibly make something for somebody. It is really quirky.
It definitely is.
But that's so Fallout.
Yeah. You know, it's going to be broken down into all your basics like appetizers, soups, and stews, sides,
Yeah.
mains. It's going to teach you how to make all those things, and so I think it's kind of cool because imagine going to a party where you roll in and they're like handing out bottles of Nuka-Cola. Like
Right.
that just brings it to the next level, and there's no need for it, but it's just awesome.
Well, and there's this place down the road from me that is a bar and an old school arcade. So if I had a party over there, or me and some friends go out or whatever, there's consoles there as well that people can bring in and set up on a projector and everything. So like it's a gamer's alcoholic hub, and
Nice.
that's great for me. I feel right at home there. But I could bring like a Fallout themed snack, and that would be like a huge fucking hit to go somewhere like that. That would be awesome.
Oh, exactly.
I just want to see the commercial that they're gonna do in this book. Those old school, like how the Fallout they do those. I don't know how to describe. But you know what I mean? The Fallout style commercials.
Like the
Yes.
40s Vault Boy commercials.
Yeah, like I want to see a fucking commercial for this cookbook because that commercial will be tits.
Yeah, that would be awesome. But yeah, keep your eyes out for that on October 23rd. It'll be released on Amazon, and I'm definitely going to pick one up eventually. It seems pretty cool.
Yeah, I think I've got some friends as well. Once they hear about it, they'll probably want to dive into this. I wonder, for the listing of all the recipes, where are people going to pick up the prime ingredient of like irradiated creatures in soil?
Yeah, like irradiated roach meat.
Well, I just know Deathclaw meat is going to go up in price once this book gets.
Oh
there.
god,
You
the
think it's
black market
expensive?
for Deathclaw
You
meat.
think it's expensive now? You just wait.
Yeah.
Buy some and store it in your freezer now. All right, moving on to some real world, social shit. Uber, talk to us about what's going on with EA and why they've decided to dig up a controversy.
Yes, so EA seems to not be able to get out of their own way when it comes to things like this. It looks like so Madden 19 has come out on EA Access and Origin Access this past week, and quickly users figured out that there was a certain song in the soundtrack of the game which had Colin Kaepernick's name in the lyrics, and EA somehow removed Colin Kaepernick's name from those lyrics, from the song, blanked it out. And people were pretty upset about that, wondering what's going on. Turns out EA released a statement shortly after a lot of people were upset about this on Twitter and across social media. And I'll read you guys their official statement here from EA Madden 19. You guys can decipher what you think of this. It says, "We made an unfortunate mistake with our Madden NFL soundtrack. Members of our team misunderstood the fact that while we don't have rights to include Colin Kaepernick in the game, this doesn't affect soundtracks. We messed up, and the edit should never have happened. We will make it right with an update to Madden 19 on August 6th that will include the reference again. We meant no disrespect, and we apologize to Colin, to YG, and Big Sean, who are the artists on this song, to the NFL and all of their fans and our players for this mistake." So they released a statement saying, you know what, there was a confusion. Basically, they don't have the rights to Colin Kaepernick because he's no longer in the NFL. That's a whole nother conversation. And this may actually tie very well into this, right? Now, I did some research, and you don't have to search hard for this, but it turns out that they also scrubbed his name from a Madden 18 song last year. And I'm wondering, is this something that the NFL maybe, because the NFL and EA, they're they work closely together.
Yeah,
Madden,
they're tight as tits.
Right. EA can't just release whatever NFL football game they want. I mean, everything is pretty much signed off by the NFL. So I'm curious how much of this was the NFL say, and how much of it was EA, and how much of it really was just confusion. But people are now saying that this may very well actually help Colin Kaepernick's collusion suit that he has against the NFL. if this is found to be true, that it has something to do with the NFL, and that the NFL directly maybe reached out to EA saying, hey, we don't want his name in our title at all whatsoever, even if it's on a soundtrack. What do you guys think of this?
I think it's bullshit. I think it's a continuation of bullshit. I mean, we won't get into the whole Kaepernick controversy, of course. That's not what this podcast is about. It's not the conversation we're supposed to be having. However,
Right.
with Madden, featuring real players, there are moments like this where it's going to cross over into the real world problems that we're having. And that this was done in 2 different iterations of the Madden games shows me that this is a deliberate step that was taken. Because if you imagine what would have to happen for it to be bumped up the chain, because whoever adds the soundtracks, I'm positive, doesn't have free reign over, number one, what songs go in, and number two, if they're going to censor any tracks, because some words are allowed, some are not. They don't have like real hardcore like DMX shit in there. Right. But some words are censored and everything. But names are never censored. That's not a thing.
Right.
And that's like free artistry use, free speech. That's not ever something that's been in question, really. So the deliberate, step that was taken to where somebody picked the song, somebody must have pointed out that it had Colin Kaepernick's name, and somebody bumped that through an official channel like, hey, the song we're playing features Kaepernick. Is that cool? And then the boss was like, nah, Trick, get rid of that.
Right.
But they didn't just get rid of the song, they just scrubbed the name.
Exactly. Why would you even play that game? Why not just how many songs are in this universe? How many thousands and thousands of songs to choose from? That to me is hilarious in its own right? Like, you choose a song that actually has Colin Kaepernick's name in it, and then you choose to scrub it, which is just ridiculous. It is so ridiculous. But you're right, Baker. There's a lot of sign-offs. I mean, this is not just a rogue developer who just throws this soundtrack. Right.
It's not one guy down on the bottom that was like,
no,
I don't like Kaepernick, so fuck him. There's no way.
Well, and this conversation was had, and I wonder if this conversation was had with the NFL as well, or representatives from the NFL. Yeah. And if they decided to say, you know what, maybe it's not a good idea with the whole legal, with the lawsuit going on and all that stuff, maybe it's not a good idea to have his name in there. But what they did is they made it almost worse because it drew so much more attention to it now, Well,
let's go this way. I'm not going to defend it. I don't follow football enough to have an opinion on the whole legal thing. I mean, the kneeling thing, we're not going to get into that either. I don't have a problem with it, but we're not going to go any further than that. But I mean, their response was a little, a little PR big time, like how they worded everything. But I mean, not to defend them, but to kind of play devil's advocate a little bit. If they were told they couldn't have his likeness in there, and someone misunderstood that, and as they were going through and say censoring other songs for words or terms or words allowed to have in the game to begin with, and they said, well, we can't have anything with Colin Kaepernick in the game, then someone, not saying like one person, but someone that doing censoring may misunderstood. It's hard to say. We weren't there, but it does definitely sound fishy. Like,
well, I don't even think that's an argument, because like I said, names have never been censored. It's a Creative Commons use, right, for people that are famous or whatever. I mean, I could put a song out on SoundCloud and release it, and I could name drop anybody that I wanted.
I get that. I'm not saying that names are never censored, but I'm just saying that it went too far where someone was like, oh, we can't have anything Kaepernick in the game. So someone, is like, well, his name's in the song, and someone's like, shit, well, we can't have that. Take it out. And someone's like, well, no, that's not right. Was it how? We don't know how the actual thing come about. It's all speculation either way, my way or your way. But it's just funny how, like you said, why did they even put the song in there if that was even a remote question? Why did they just scrap the whole song from this game and just put something else in its place by the same artist?
Yep.
So yeah, I mean, it definitely seems fishy, and that response is definitely full of PR.
Well, yeah, and then they got to backpedal as EA always does when they get caught doing something stupid. It was a mistake or whatever. They'll fix it. That's fine. But the
But
the dumbass that made this decision, instead of just getting rid of the track, somebody had to sign. I mean, no matter how it happened, somebody made the decision to do that.
Oh, I agree. But like I said,
and it wasn't a lone wolf, like paper shredder down in the basement that did this.
No,
somebody
but
had
like,
to say.
did someone have a memo that said we can't have Colin Kaepernick in the game, and the team that does, I'm not saying it was one person, but the memo come through, we can't have anything Colin Kaepernick in this game.
Hang on, because I don't even think that conversation has been had because he's not in the game. He's not playing. He's not a player that's featured. So there is no instance of Colin Kaepernick in the game because he's not an active player.
Well, when was he no longer a player? Because these games have been started the second 18.
Over a year ago.
Right. Okay. So he was he in 18?
I don't believe so. No.
He wasn't.
No, I don't believe so.
Okay, all right, okay.
No.
I'm thinking if he was in 18 and the development started for 19, and they had to go back through and start removing shit because he was taken out after 19 to start the development. Right. That's maybe where the confusion started.
No, I think it was last year. He didn't get picked up by any teams, and then this year again.
All right, so there you go.
Right,
so definitely okay. Now that's explained to me, then yes, okay, I agree 100%.
Yeah. So
and the one thing
there's no questioning, like, in making the roster and everything like that. There shouldn't have had this conversation because there's no way they could have put Kaepernick in there because he's not a player anymore. He's not in the NFL.
No, but
so there should never have been a memo coming down from anybody saying, "Hey, you can't put Kaepernick in the game," because it's like somebody, why would they have? He's not in the game. He's not a player anymore.
No, but that's why I wanted the clarification was he in 18? Because they take all the information 18, move it up to 19, and
roster updates.
Right. So I'm thinking if he was in 18 and the second 18 was launched and out in the market, they start working on 19, then he was already in the game. But if he wasn't in 18, then they definitely would have been in 19. So that's why I wanted that clarification. So okay, yeah,
right.
and then that conversation should have taken place. Okay.
Right. The one other thing I want to point out to their official statement is it kind of struck me as odd is them saying members of our team misunderstood the fact that while we don't have rights to include Kaepernick in the game, this doesn't affect soundtracks. To me, it almost sounds like upper management is absolving themselves of the situation, saying, this is some people, below that misunderstood some things. And that's kind of where I have a problem with it because nothing at EA happens just it's like I said, it's not just one guy making a decision. It goes up the chain, and it's a lengthy chain. It's not just a guy.
Yeah, but you can't just point your finger at EA at this either.
No, this was definitely NFL. They probably had something like
right, and that makes it a whole lot bigger of a thing, of an issue, and that's why people are saying he may have a case in his collusion lawsuit against the NFL. Because the other thing I've noticed, they have the Ultimate Team on Madden, and they oftentimes feature former players, even recent players, who were in the NFL, who are no longer there, maybe like Tim Tebow's, and they would feature those guys who may have had a good playoff run. They have never really had like a vintage Colin Kaepernick player in the game either, and I mean they'll never admit to not putting him in because of the whole situation that's going on. But I wonder if that has but I wonder if that has something to do with it as well, because they get players, former NFL players, all the time in their game. It's not just the current roster. They have a lot of former players, and I mean, let's face it, Kaepernick went to a Super Bowl. It's not like
he wasn't a scrub though. Then that's exactly what you're saying. That feeds into it, is that he was a good player. He was legit. Right, totally. So yeah, there's that. Stupid EA and I as much as this controversy has been front page for NFL, as it was, it's not really anymore. And that's why I kind of said when we started this off about digging up a controversy, is that it wasn't a big deal anymore. We've kind of moved on from it. There are still people that disagree and that are outraged over this, and I'm one of them in both cases. I think it's complete bullshit. But as far as including stuff in a game, I understand why he's not in the game. That's completely separate from the argument of him being in the NFL. I totally get that. But to scrub a soundtrack, as we've said, over and over, just to reiterate, is that this had to go up the chain. This had to come from somebody. Somebody checked with somebody else. And yeah, it was probably some type of communication between EA and the NFL. And one of them put their foot down and said, no, absolutely not. And it's garbage, man. It really is. No matter on which side you come down on, whether you think he should be in the NFL or whether you think that, he shouldn't because he's a disgrace, whatever your opinion is, his name being featured in a song for, 1 second shouldn't be up for debate. It should not matter.
No.
Absolutely
It's not going to make
at
a
all.
difference.
No.
Yeah.
I say someone at the NFL heard about it and they went to EA and said, "Get that shit out of here." They're like,
Yep.
"Well, we already paid dude royalties of the song. Well, take his fucking name out then." And then that's what
Yep.
they did. So there you go. NFL and EA, naughty.
Yeah, suck it, Goodell Bob.
Your father was born in a loo.
Oh, fuck.
Shit. All right, we're going to move on here out of some controversy and into some good news for Sony, at least. According to NPD, which I'm not positive what that stands for, it doesn't say that, it just says the NPD group. NPD group says that God of War is the fastest selling exclusive in PlayStation history. We've known for quite some time that God of War was selling well for Sony. And then, what was it? Within the first 2 days or 3 days, they confirmed that it had sold over 3.1 million units. And now I believe there is confirmation out there that it sold over 5 million.
In a month.
So-
it sold 5 million in a month.
In a month, yeah. So God of War has been doing incredibly well, and that's not really surprising considering the success that the franchise has had. Now, this article doesn't tell me what the actual number is, like completely up to date. It doesn't give me a total. It does point forward to the future and talk about SpiderMan, and maybe that'll be some direct competition for a fastest selling exclusive. But as of right now, God of War has held the title and is holding it until it's dethroned. But the previous fastest selling title for PlayStation was The Last of Us, which understandable, remarkable game, one of my favorites of all time. And also looking ahead to the future, The Last of Us 2 might break this.
I see The Last of Us 2 being tops in the fastest
Over
selling.
Spider-Man, you take that pick?
I think so. Yeah. As
Okay.
much as I looking forward to playing Spider-Man, and from the little bit that I've seen, because I'm trying to stay away from it, it's going to be a fast-selling game because people have just been fucking chomping at the bit to get their hands on it. But
Right.
The Last of Us 2, I think, is going to reign supreme once it comes out.
Okay.
I'd be hard-pressed to see anything beat that.
I don't know. Spider-Man's got the mass appeal there.
Yeah,
There's gonna be
well-
a lot of people picking up Spider-Man just
Well,
because.
And well, you got to look at it this way too. I mean, The Last of Us was the top selling. Pretty much, I'm not going to say it was the top selling, but it was probably one of the fastest selling games on PS3, and it also was the fastest selling exclusive on PlayStation 4.
Yeah.
So to know
It's
that
true.
part 2 coming and the people are wanting it tomorrow, not next year, I think I think Spider-Man may have a shot, but I'm a Last of Us fanboy, big time, in my favorite
me
game.
too.
So yeah, I think Spider-Man will hold it for quite a while, but I think The Last of Us 2 has a good shot at dethroning Spider-Man.
I think Spider-Man, it does have that mass appeal, right? But it's also, it has a place for serious gamers, but it's also going to be a mainstay for a lot of kid gamers.
Yeah.
Whereas The Last of Us 2, it's a very mature game, or The Last of Us, it's a very mature game, and it has a very dedicated fan base. I mean, you mentioned anything about a spoiler or release or like a little tease about The Last of Us 2 to these fans, and they're almost salivating. So I think this game's going to take off.
Sure.
It's definitely going to top Spider-Man, I'd say.
I don't know. I'm actually undecided. Like, put on the spot here now talking about it. I don't have a pick because everything you've said is true. Last of Us has a very rabid fan base, and it's guaranteed to sell in the millions. Absolutely. But Spider-Man, I think, is going to do incredibly well for a lot of the same reasons, but also for more reasons. because it's more accessible, which you see great sales in titles that are, you know, rated E or whatever. For mass market appeal, it's a lot friendlier. It's
That's
a
true.
lot more known to people that are not hardcore gamers.
That's true.
But also it's
Yeah.
got the appeal of, you know, it looks like an extremely polished, well done game that's got a lot of depth to it. So this is not going to turn away hardcore gamers. It's not Lego Spider-Man, you know.
No.
Right.
So I don't know. I think that this game Spider-Man has serious potential to break this, as well as The Last of Us 2. So I don't know. I can't pick a clear winner.
Yeah.
You're right when you talk about the fact that the younger audience and the people that maybe are just new to PlayStation
Right.
and new to this new and they're not hardcore gamers would buy Spider-Man, and the fact that like Sony has shipped now almost 80 million consoles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
so,
and if you think of it too, you know, a standard trip to the not grocery store, but to, you know, an electronics store, GameStop or something like that, some kid brings his mom or dad in, and, you know, if they're looking at new releases and the kid knows what Last of Us is, you know, maybe watching YouTube videos, or if they've played it, whatever their age is, the appeal to the parent is probably going to flow to Spider-Man, because that's a lot more friendly. You know, it's your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
yeah.
And
So,
everybody knows Spider-Man,
yeah,
right?
and
I mean,
if-
it's a bigger brand.
Yeah, and if the parent takes 30 seconds to look up on YouTube what the hell The Last of Us is, because they've never heard it, they're going to say, fuck no.
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing is the fact that they're not coming in anywhere at all close together.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean,
It'll be a true competition.
it's gonna be
between them, I
interesting to
think.
look back and say, yeah, shit, we were right, or shit, we were wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to all the games.
Yeah, I'll be getting both. I'll dip into both of those.
I keep throwing
All right.
every time I see Last of Us 2, I keep throwing my wallet at my monitor. But I still don't have a pre-order. So
Just take it. All right, so we'll move on here. Another game that I'm actually really excited for as well, Panther. Talk to us about Doom.
yes, the new Doom Eternal. So I played Doom back in the day a little bit, like, you know, probably most people have the original, and some other iterations of it back in the day. But when Doom was kind of re-released, or I don't know what do you call it, not really remastered, but relaunched. What term you want to use? There's so many of them now.
Sure, I mean, yeah, any of them. It's
a
fun.
reboot. What kind of a reboot? So the reboot of Doom, when I first watched the kind of the first like teaser trailer or whatever we saw for it back a couple years ago. I'm like, God damn, that game looks just badass. Like just fucking shooting things in the face with a shotgun. I'm like, oh man. I played Doom. I loved it. I had a blast playing it. I mean, there was some difficult sections here and there that kind of got frustrating, but I enjoyed it. It was a challenge, but it wasn't, you know, I don't play games on like the hardest level because I don't want to break controllers, but I really liked it. I had a blast with it. I've watched some YouTube videos of people playing it and other people having fun with it. So I thought it was a great game. And then they announced at E3, they teased. The little tease that we got was like a 12-second tease. It was ridiculous. I'm like, you bastards, I want to know more. Well, we're going to get more. We're going to get an actual, some gameplay reveal live stream coming up. I'm trying to find the dates. Next week. Next week.
Yeah.
Shit, it is next week. Yes.
Yeah.
Friday, August 10th.
Wow.
Yeah, at 11 a.m. Central or 12 p.m.
Okay.
Eastern. Yeah, at was it QuakeCon? Yes, QuakeCon this week. Yeah, it's next week. Shit, I thought it was 2 weeks away. Damn, next week. Next week.
Awesome.
Yeah,
I can't wait to see it.
that's basically this Friday. We're recording this on Sunday, so this Friday. Yeah, this Friday on the 10th. So I'm definitely going to be tuning in to watch that. I'm not really interested in any other Quake news, but I definitely want to see some Doom Eternal.
Yeah, for sure. Did you other two guys? Did you ever get into the Doom franchise? Have you played the last one? What about you?
I have played the original Doom like way back in the day.
Okay.
Like way back. And I remember it just being this gory, crazy. I was a kid back then, you know, just it was awesome, but it was pretty gory. But I never
It's
I never
gotten so
gravitated
much
towards
worse.
Oh, yeah,
Right,
you-
I would imagine so, because even back then it was like, whoa, right? And the graphics were just shit back then. Like early, when did it come out? Like 94 or something like that?
the original.
Somewhere
The original?
early 90s.
Mid 90s? Early to mid 90s, yeah. That's all I remember. I know there've been multiple iterations of it, but I've never
Right.
actually picked it back up. But I'm definitely going to look into this one.
1993.
There we go.
93, okay, I was close.
So when
Yeah,
I was
12 then.
when I was a wee kid, a little younger than Uber there, I think I was like 7. I saved up all my allowance to buy an N64, and with that N64, I bought 2 games. I bought Super Mario 64 and Doom 64.
Yes.
I played Doom 64 every fucking day. I loved that game. And you know, I had a young mom, so she didn't understand like, oh, violence in video games is probably not great for a 7-year-old. So she was right there beside me, like, that's cool.
Explains
wait
a
a
lot.
minute, though. No GoldenEye on the 64?
Oh, well, that came later, yeah. But these were my first 2 games, you know.
Oh,
When I bought
gotcha,
that console,
okay.
you know, it was these 2, and Doom 64 took it all the time. And
Talk about going like polar opposites, Mario and then Doom.
yeah, exactly.
It's a
Damn.
classic Spider-Man Last of Us 2 matchup. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, you
That's
want
right.
you think the 93 and the 95 versions of Doom were gory. You need to watch the Doom reboot. There is some pretty fucked up shit.
Yep.
I love it.
That's awesome.
I'm definitely
All right.
gonna look into this new one.
I guarantee you need to.
Yeah, so this coming Friday, that reveal's coming. That's going to be cool. So stay tuned for that. So Fatti, talk to us about some actual awesome PlayStation Plus games for August.
All right, so before I start this, I want to read the first passage of the article that we're coming from here. Panther, when you edit this, can you put some like nice storytelling music behind this?
Okay, sure. Okay, but everybody be quiet. Let him do his thing, and I'll do my best.
Okay. If you're sat reading this in not but your underwear, with a bag of ice tucked under each arm and an electric fan whispering sweet nothings in your general direction, then please know that we don't blame you, friend. We really don't. And talking about bringing the heat, Sony is bringing the fucking heat this month, man. For their PlayStation Plus, the free games are fucking blowing it out of the water, man. Mafia 3, Dead by Daylight, you don't even have to know the rest. Those are fucking awesome. Like,
Yes.
those are some good ass games that are coming for free this month. I cannot wait.
Wow.
So yeah, starting August 7th, I think 7th or 8th, whatever Tuesday is. We're going to be getting Mafia 3
7th,
and 7th. Mafia 3 and Dead by Daylight, all free. Those
That's
are
awesome.
phenomenal games. But Sony ups the ante by throwing in just a few little bonuses as well. So as part of their Summer of Plus deal that they're doing, they're also throwing in 2 additional titles. One for their new PlayLink, like mobile game type deal where you can attach your phone to your PS4 and play with friends. The game is called Knowledge is Power. And it looks like just your basic skill testing, question answering game show type thing. It looks kind of quirky and fun if you have a lot of people on the same couch. And they're also releasing a free VR game for anyone who has PSVR called Here They Lie. And apparently it's a dark psychological horror that pretty much fucks with you the whole time you're playing with it. And as someone with a PSVR, I can't wait for that. That's going to terrify me, and I cannot wait to play it. Also coming this month, we're going to be getting Bound by Flame for the PS3, Serious Sam 3 for the PS3, Draw Slasher for the PS Vita, and Space Hulk for the PS Vita. I don't know if anyone still has a PS Vita. Personally, I've always wanted one, but you know, you have some free games still.
Yeah, they're still supporting it,
Yeah, for now.
which is surprising.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For now.
Yeah, I know. Those have an established life on them. I know that, but still cool that they release games. But yeah, wow, really knocking it out of the park with the PlayStation Plus games this month. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
man,
Now,
I mean-
obviously, we know Dead by Daylight from experience,
Yeah.
but For console people, like I've got it on console as well, and now there's literally an opportunity for everybody we know to have it on console, so we can have PlayStation parties and survive with friends from the comfort of our couch and no longer in our computer chairs.
Yeah.
I'm looking, get some new people in there.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to hopefully getting some other PlayStation people and playing it. And I've been wanting to play Mafia 3. When it came out, I was interested in it, but I was playing so many other games, and I thought this will be another one I'll play for like 3 or 4 days, and then it'll just get set aside because something else will, be the new game of the week. So I watched some gameplay. I didn't watch a full playthrough, but I watched some gameplay, and it looked like a lot of fun. So I can't wait to get this and just fire up the PlayStation and crank up the surround sound and fucking shoot people.
No, it's gonna be a great month. It's gonna be a great month of free games, and honestly, fucking bring it, Xbox. They've been failing so much. So like, what are they gonna do now? This is miles ahead of them.
Yeah.
Well,
we're
excited
about to find out.
Yeah, that'll be our next story here. I'll lead you guys into that. But I'm excited for Mafia 3 as well. That's a game I probably wasn't willing to pay $60 for when it first came out, and then I kind of just forgot about it. And it's been a while now, and now here we are. We can download it for free. It's freaking awesome. Like, I'm gonna definitely download it and check it out. Man, gaming, we're in a really good place right now for gaming, man. Everywhere you look, there's something to play, right? I mean, it's really awesome.
Yeah, except for the Switch.
Damn. You guys,
32 points.
He's playing with the Switch right now. He's playing Paladins. Paladins? I don't know.
I can play that on Xbox.
True. Not in handheld mode, you can't.
I guess not. I don't know if I want to either.
All right, so the Xbox Games with Gold for August 2018. I'll tell you guys about those. It looks like we're getting 4 games. Forza Horizon 2 10th Anniversary Edition. We're getting For Honor Standard Edition, Dead Space 3, and Disney Epic Mickey 2: The Power of 2. I don't think it's as powerful of a lineup as PlayStation had for the PS Plus. And this is games with gold, so this is not the Xbox Live either. So this is actually a subscription you have to pay for. But it's decent. It's decent. For Forza Horizon 2, that was a great game. I have fond memories of that game. All these are pretty much $20 titles that they're offering for free on Games with Gold this month. Dead Space 3, that's one title I may actually try out.
It was decent.
Yeah, but you have Origin, don't you, Uber?
I do have Origin with access. Is it on there?
All the Dead Space games are on Origin. Even on the base model. I have all 3 downloaded. I played the first one and some of the second. I never did get to the third one, so I'm definitely.
It's slowly in the series. It slowly progressed from that like claustrophobic horror survival. It changed and evolved to where basically it's an action game by part 3.
Yeah, I heard some people liked it, some people didn't, but I heard it was still a pretty solid game. So yeah, I definitely got to get into them on PC. But the first Dead Space, man, I played the shit out of that game.
Yes, it was awesome.
It was an awesome game. So the Forest and Horizon games are pretty popular. So I mean, anyone who hasn't had it, I guess, will get it. But I mean, For Honor, I don't know, man. That game was like bragged up to be the best. It came out, it was shit, and then they've done a bunch of updates, and it's kind of rose back up. But I don't know really where it stands right now. Just getting it free definitely going to help the player base on Xbox. But
not to mention Horizon 4 is coming out in months.
Yeah,
right.
It's 2 games behind now.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, it is. Yeah, for Horizon. Yeah, because it's Horizon 2, not 3. Shit, I never even thought of that. Good catch.
I'd be willing to say that the Horizon franchise has actually kind of taken over the Forza franchise as far as fun factor, for me at least personally.
Well, I'm
arcade, much more excited about. Yeah, it is more arcade, but it still looks beautiful. I mean, there's tons of stuff to do.
It looks good. But like I said, it appeals to more of not a serious racing game player, because the Forza series is all racetracks, right?
Yeah.
So with the Horizon series, it's more of the open world racing around, random type of races. Yeah, I mean,
Right.
I've watched gameplay of a few of the Horizon series the last couple of years, and they always look good. I mean, the new one from the trailers we saw at E3 looks amazing. So, I mean, the game
Right.
looks cool. I mean, if that's your kind of thing, I think it's going to be an amazing game. But yeah, I just remembered, yeah, Horizon. That's 2 games ago, and being a $20
Yeah, see, to
title.
me, Forza Horizon 3 would have been a nice touch here this month.
Yeah.
Right? With
That would have
Forza
been.
Horizon 4 coming out, them going back two generations of this title is kind of like, it's kind of weak.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I never thought of that.
you
Yeah,
know,
I was thinking.
I own Horizon 3 and it's great, but I think that should have been the title here, in my opinion. And I'm sure it's coming. Maybe it'll be the title for September or October or whatnot. I'm not sure. When is Forza Horizon 4 coming out, Fatty? Do you know?
October, I think. October or November.
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe
it's
that's
not
what
too
they're
far
doing.
off.
So maybe they're saving it for September. Maybe the games with gold
Like
for
a month
September.
before?
Maybe they'll add. Yeah.
I don't know.
That would
I
make
think
sense, I
Xbox
guess.
doesn't know what the fuck they're doing with these games. At all, to tell you
They've
the
had
truth.
Yeah.
they've had some good titles when Sony fell on their face. Sony this time rises up and Xbox falls in their face. It's almost
Yeah.
like it's
Yeah.
like they trade months. It's like, what do you
Yeah,
get? What do you,
like they're having like secret phone calls.
yeah,
They're
what do
just
you what are you
like,
giving
"All
it
right,
this month? I'm giving
yeah,
it
this
these
month we're
shitty
gonna
games.
fucking fail.
Yeah.
So you guys do it this month."
So
Do you
it's
guys
like,
ever think like Sony's gonna throw like the big dogs like Horizon Zero Dawn in the PlayStation Plus?
in about
Not
4
for
Yes.
a
years.
while.
In about
Yeah,
4
but it'll be
years.
years from now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
On the PlayStation
and
5.
Uncharted maybe.
Yep.
That would just be a game changer. Like, wow.
Has there ever been an Uncharted in the Plus series?
No,
Like any of
I
them?
don't believe so.
I don't think so. No.
Yeah.
Actually, what was the newest DLC? Not DLC, but it was a standalone title. That was part of the
Yeah.
PlayStation Plus, I believe.
That's right.
What?
What? Yeah, I downloaded it and I didn't pay for it, so and I still have it.
the new the
With the ladies, what was it called?
that wasn't in play. That wasn't a Plus title.
I'm pretty sure it was.
I thought it was.
Yeah, I think it was because when I saw it,
'Cause I think
Did you have-
I think
did you
Panther,
have-
you and I talked about it during our previous podcast.
Did you have Uncharted 4? You have Uncharted 4, right?
I
Edward?
did.
Did you?
Yes.
Right. So if you ordered it early enough, you got that included before they pulled it and made it a separate title.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah,
Or maybe that's it.
Because whenever they
because I know it's free to me and I downloaded it.
when
and I
they
was like,
initially
"Sweet,
announced
I just-
Uncharted 4, they announced the extra the first time they're actually doing a story mode expansion. And if you pre-ordered the expansion, it was like $15 or $12 or whatever it was.
Right.
And then when they realized the game was actually going to be almost a full game, they decided to take it out of the season pass and make it a separate purchase and made it a complete standalone. So that if you bought it previously, you got it for that discounted price. But if you didn't, you had to pay the $30 or whatever they sold it for. But then you didn't need to have the Uncharted 4 game. So you actually split it out and made, yeah, so that's probably all you did. You probably purchased the season pass when you bought the original game.
I don't know if I did.
Strange
I
though,
honestly
because
don't know.
I don't remember buying the season pass, and I think I saw also the option to get it for free, and I didn't because I was not interested. Because for me, Uncharted is Drake, and I'm like, I don't even want the same game mechanics with just a character switch out, because to me it's gonna feel like bullshit. Like we kind of accept that Drake, similarly to Indiana Jones, can pull off all these feats and everything. But if you just switched, an Indiana Jones out with, Joe Schmo or one of the random sidekicks, like I wouldn't want to watch that movie. And similarly, I didn't want to play this game, so I didn't bother with it. But I'm
It was
pretty sure
fucking
I had
good.
a free option as well.
You should have. It was fucking good.
Well, I don't feel like it was a loss for me. I don't regret not playing it.
I'm going through.
One thing I'll say about the this month's Xbox games is don't sleep on Epic Mickey. No, for real. Like I was
Oh my God, you being
generally
serious?
surprised. Yeah. If you're looking for a nice like kind of calm but also really great storytelling game, like a nice adventure game, Epic Mickey 2 is the jam.
Wow.
I bought that for my girlfriend like a couple Christmases ago, and I played it more than she did. It was awesome.
Okay, so
Wow.
Uncharted Golden Abyss was a Vita title.
Okay.
Uncharted 3, Drake's Deception
I think it's Lost Legacy, right?
Yeah, it's Lost Legacy with the women.
Uncharted 3 Drake's Deception was a PS3
There you go.
title. If this article's correct.
Don't know.
I'm seeing like a Reddit post that says Uncharted The Lost Legacy is free, and then the comment on it is just downloaded it and cost me nothing. Must be a PlayStation Plus perk, but it's not confirmed. And it's kind of how I stumbled across it as well. I kind of just saw it in the store and it said free, and I could have sworn it had that little PlayStation Plus logo next to it, but I'm not. I don't remember.
I just pulled up an article here, and it says Uncharted The Lost Legacy to be free for those with Uncharted 4 Deluxe Edition or Explorers Pack.
Yeah.
So if you had bought the Deluxe Edition or Explorers Pack at some point, that would have been free in the store for you.
Yeah.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Well, that about solves it then. Well, either way, I mean, we went down the rabbit hole.
Big time.
Yeah, we're way off.
No reason to talk about Uncharted, but there we went.
Yep.
It's all right. That's how this podcast plays, though. That's how we do it.
Shit.
Yeah. All right. So that's fine, but definitely, I think that's 4 eyes for PlayStation Plus winning this month.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right.
Agreed.
And we've got an article that here I'm excited about, even though it's not going to personally benefit me. So the Humble Bundle, for those of you that don't know what that is, it's a website and an organization that bundles, packages of games, and you can usually buy them in different tiers to where you spend a few dollars and you can get, 2 to 4 games usually. You buy the average that people pay, because you can also choose your own price. You pay the average amount that's currently going, and you can get even more games, another 3 or 4 games. And then if you pay, a certain, whatever the highest benchmark is, usually it's $12. If you pay that, then you get even more games and all of the games that are completely included. So as you go up the ladder, you're getting everything. So they usually will theme these bundles, it'll be like shooters or indies or racing games or, simulations, whatever. So most of the games are going to be somewhat similar, at least on like a base level for a lot of the bundles. But there is also the option for a Humble Bundle monthly package, which I do subscribe to. So for $12 a month, you can get a batch of games, and it's usually between 6 and 8 games, I believe. And some months there are like fresh AAA games in there. So it's not, like PlayStation, Xbox, the free games that they do. Sometimes, like we just mentioned with Forza Horizon 2, they're not, 2 generations behind usually. They usually have a very, very recent AAA title as like the highlight of that's what you're going to get in the monthly bundle. But they're also, there's always indies of some sort. There's usually a lot of like medium games. So for the next month, for August, the Humble monthly subscribers for the first time ever will be able to choose from different early unlock options. So what this means is every month it'll bill you $12 for the Humble monthly, but there is always the option to pay the monthly fee early. You can pay the same amount, the $12, and you can get early unlock titles. And for August, the titles that you could choose from is either a small batch of games, which is Sniper Elite 2, Tales of Berseria, and Stacksoul. Now, I don't know what the latter 2 games are. I have no idea. I've never heard of them. They're probably some indies. But if you pay $12 already in advance, you're going to get Sniper Elite 4. Or, and this is where this interesting parts come in, you could otherwise choose to have the new Rise of the Tomb Raider game, which is a great game from everything I've heard. I do own it on Steam from a previous Humble Bundle that I got, but I also own Sniper Elite 4. So for me, like I said, this is not going to personally benefit me, but if this is going to be a trend to where I can actually choose to do a early unlock and get, maybe a AAA title that I don't have or something that I've really wanted, that's awesome. More choice is always welcome, and it's for the same price. Now the question is going to be moving forward, are both of the options that you could choose going to be included in the bundle? Because right now it's slated as an early unlock option, but I'm wondering, so say hypothetically if I picked Sniper Elite 4, I paid the $12 early, I got Sniper Elite 4 as the early unlock. That means obviously I did not get Rise of the Tomb Raider. Now, when the rest of the bundle releases and all of the games open up and I open up and access all of the games in my monthly bundle, is Rise of the Tomb Raider going to be in there? Or is it purely and exclusively just an early unlock option as like one of two games? You guys understand what I mean by that?
Right. I do.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's going to be the interesting twist. And I don't know how they're going to do that because this is the first time they've ever offered that option. But I think that this is going to be really, really popular with people. Because for me, if I didn't have one of these two games, unfortunately I have both, but if I didn't have one or the other, and I wasn't interested in, say, Sniper Elite, if that looked like too hardcore of a military thing for me, but Tomb Raider is really story-based, I would go that way. Or vice versa,
Right.
If I would just, I love shooters, this game looks fun, it looks gory, but I've never tried it, that'd be great for me to try, as opposed to some, if I wasn't interested in story-based games like Tomb Raider. So the choice is great. I absolutely applaud them, and Humble Bundle always does awesome anyways, but this is just another notch in their belt to where they're really coming through for their subscribers, and I can't recommend this place enough.
So let me
it's
ask
really
you,
cool.
Let me ask you this. So you do the early unlock. So if you didn't do the early unlock, would you not get one of the AAA games?
That's not true. It's simply early. So,
Okay. So in other
let's
words,
say for another month, or even for this month for Sniper Elite 4, that's the question I have, is which one of these is going to be featured when the full unlock comes out, because it'll bill you later if you don't do the early unlock option. It'll just bill you when the package goes live.
Okay.
But that's my question, is which one of these titles will be included, because previously you'll see the early unlock titles, and for me there's been months where I've passed on buying early because I didn't care for the early unlock titles.
But you still get them anyways.
You still get them,
Okay.
yes.
I figured as much because I don't have it, and I always see like the posts on Reddit. It's like early unlock is this game, and I'm like, do you have to like get it to get that, or you just early unlock it to get it, like so that you get it like that day and don't have to wait like 2 weeks or whatever. So that's what I figured. But I figured, but yeah. So my question is the same thing with yours: is if you don't unlock early and choose, so when the game bundle drops, whatever day of the week it is, you're going to be presented with a choice.
I mean,
how
I don't
are they
know.
gonna, if you don't pay the early unlock and say, okay, early unlock and I want Tomb Raider, so when the game drops, are they just gonna randomly give you the game, or do you still have to go in and choose it? They don't say that either.
Well, when you unlock a bundle, what it'll do is bring you to a different page, and it'll show you all the games listed, and you can choose to get a Steam code to where you can activate it yourself, or you can gift it to a friend, which I've done to you guys just recently. So I'm not sure if it's gonna black one out if you pick one or the other. In this particular instance, I'm not positive.
I guess we'll find it. When's the early
We will,
unlock?
yeah, we will find out. Well, you can early unlock right now.
Okay.
That's the whole thing. Is you wait for the next month's bundle to come out, but in between them, they try to entice you to go ahead and pay early by giving you whatever big game. Usually, it's the AAA title. And then you go ahead and just buy the package in advance. Now you get the early unlock access to where you can play that game, from that moment on. But then when the rest of the bundle comes out, you've already paid. So then you just install whatever new games from the bundle you want. So yeah, I mean, it's always a value. The Humble Monthly works great because it's guaranteed to be a minimum of $100 retail value. So it's never, ever going to be just a crap fest of like 9 different indie games that nobody's ever heard of and they got your money. It's never like that. So this August monthly package actually is phenomenal. It's worth over $200 at retail value, and it includes The Surge, Sudden Strike 4, which I love. I'm a huge fan of the Sudden Strike series. A Hat in Time, The Escapist 2, Conan Exiles, Kona, Forge Battalion, and Pathologic Classic HD, and Wotan. And that's all for the $12.
Wow.
It's insane.
Yes.
It's insane. It's
really
another
is.
testament of how much stuff we have to play, right? Like between the PlayStation Plus games and the Humble bundles and the Origin, EA Access subscriptions we have nowadays, you can really round out your library for just minimal investments. You know, you don't really have to spend much to get hundreds of hours of time playing awesome games.
Yeah.
You ever think that maybe it's too much at some point, though?
It is.
It's getting to the point
it's a little
now.
overwhelming.
It's getting to the point now that there's so much that how do you ever play anything?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I
mean, that's the Mafia 3 thing, right? We were talking about that. Yeah. Like when that game first came out, I was like, oh, it's pretty cool. But even then, there was so much to play. I wasn't really going to spend $60 on that game. And even now that it came out for free, sure, I'm going to download it, I'm going to play. But how much am I really going to play of it with all this other stuff? I mean, I just got introduced to the Humble Bundle thanks to Baker. I saw their sports bundle that they had, and I'm going to get that for sure, $12.
And then you got to think, like, SpiderMan comes out next month, and then Red Dead, and if we all get an Origin Premiere, it's going to be Battlefield 5, and you got Madden and their FIFA games you play, and all. Yeah, I mean, it's like, holy shit. Like,
it is almost oversaturated, but it's a problem of having too many good things, which is a great problem to have, you know?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. We've got so many options. A lot of them are free, and a lot of them, if they're not free, they're at low cost. We have a ton of options. So, I mean, even for me though, and I'll be honest now, my pattern as a gamer is I've got a handful of games that I play. It's less than 20 for sure, like very easily less than 20, probably even less than 10 that I play regularly. I don't play too many games like ordinarily, you know, like it's just not part of my regular repertoire. But most games, you know, I'll play a little bit of. I'll be like, oh, you know, that's okay. But I don't like it as much as my regular game, so I'll go back to it.
Right.
Now, the most variety that I've had recently with games has been because of this podcast, because of you guys, because we made the fantastic decision to play a different game each week. So the variety that we've introduced to just doing this podcast has been phenomenal for me, because I wouldn't have found these games. I wouldn't have went out of my way to find them, and I definitely wouldn't have enjoyed them without you guys being there. So thanks, bros, for that.
Yeah,
appreciate it.
Not a problem.
Ditto.
Yeah, I mean, other than Dead by Daylight, I've never played the other games. So
yeah.
That was like a really wholesome
game that I never played.
Yeah. That was so wholesome.
We're bonding.
I just want to thank you guys so much.
Well, thanks to Baker alone, I've played a handful of games now that I would have never given a shot. And, you know, it's awesome. It's awesome. That's what gaming is all about. Gaming and friends.
There you go.
Yeah. All right. Well, let me see. We are at the hour mark now. Let's go ahead and I want to talk about our game of the week. So we're at the very tail end here. I'm gonna have to go ahead and cut off the rest of the topics.
So look at that. Another week we didn't get through them all.
You know what? I am proud of us. So hey, we did good. We did the full circle.
Yep.
We got a full 8 topics in, 2 each.
Whoever's listening right now, put the over/under on next week's topics. You know what I mean? There was a week where we got to like 3 or 4 only. I felt like we did better this week.
Oh, we definitely did better this week.
Yeah. If I'm an odds maker, I'm gonna set the over/under at 7.5 topics for next week.
It's a little ambitious, actually.
Yeah,
I think.
really.
I'm gonna guess we'll do 5.5.
Yeah, I was gonna say 5.5 sounds more of a better odds.
A bit more realistic.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so moving on. We'll talk about our game of the week here in a minute, but the game that we played this week, much to Panther's dismay, was Oh Sir, the Insult Simulator. And it was such a charming game because the insults in this most of the time were so off the cuff and just absolutely identifiable as being just pure British. So before we get into the discussion about it, let's see some highlights and what Panther's been able to whip up from our gameplay. So enjoy that here, and we'll see you back here in a few minutes.
So you're using the same one from before?
Yes.
Your mother wanted to be your husband.
Ouch. How do I put an exclamation on it? I don't know.
There's no exclamation ones though.
Yeah, I don't know. Ah, crap. I mean, I've got one down on the bottom. I guess I pulled out. I don't know.
Somebody, if you drink your tea, you can.
Yeah. I think you should say the insult that you finish with.
Your sister has a steaming rump with a dead parrot.
Your mother changes into your math teacher and will always be alone. And now let me finish the rites.
I don't like the ending on that. Rude. 17 points?
What?
Good morning. Does this dead body belong to you by chance?
What the fuck?
I just borrowed it to put my teacup on.
You murdered this poor man to have tea on his rotting corpse?
How could I murder him when I was hiding in a shrubbery with my rifle the whole morning?
Oh, what the fuck?
You might have a perfect alibi, but you can't deny that.
Settle it. Uh-oh.
Okay. Let's see.
Oh, wow. Learn grammar. Grammar. Great grandma. Your wife is rude. That doesn't make any sense. This is hard.
Oh,
If you drink the tea, I think more insults will appear. I think that's how it works.
Okay.
Oh my god. Your wife is rude. That's the best I can come up with. How bad is that? Time's up. What the hell are we doing?
I don't know.
What's the watch on your side there? On your side of the screen, the arm with the...
I don't know. I hit that little like thing and it just put it there.
Time's up. Your wife is rude.
Your wife is rude.
Okay, so the exclamation mark actually does the roast. Okay, here we go. A red-arsed baboon?
I'm hoping I'm building up a combo here that's just gonna fucking dominate.
I think it might. Your sentence. Oh my god! Your cousin's car is a duck hunter. None of this makes sense. Your mother poses nude for a red-arsed baboon and the Nazis? Oh boy. You're gonna win this round. I just know it.
your cousin's car is a duck hunter.
This is horrible!
Mother poses nude for last baboon and the Nazis.
Yeah, I think you won that round. Jesus.
Oh, that was good.
I gotta step it up. Damn it, man.
Oh, that fucking Ann.
Got him.
Oh, shit.
Your mother is not interesting and was defeated by a
By defeated, I mean violated. 10.
Oh, I've got a good one brewing.
Oh no. How long is this gonna be?
It might be a little bit long.
Your wife dances like a frightened schoolboy.
6? Oh, come on.
Father smells of a public loo and is getting fat because you're a spoiled brat.
Boom!
Wow, 15? All right, so we are back, and oh, sir, indeed. I had a lot of fun with this, and I'm happy that I found it, and it was, at the time that I bought it, discounted very heavily. I think it was only like 69 or 79 cents. So I bought it for myself, and I went ahead and bought copies for these guys and gifted it to them just so we'd have a chance to play this, because I was not confident, I'll be honest. I was not confident that I would be able to talk you guys into spending 79 cents on this game.
And
So
you're right.
I went ahead and removed all doubt and just bought it and gifted it to you, so you had to play it. But it was fun, you know. Like Panther, I realized that you really just, I think, had bad luck. I think that's what it was.
I mean, like, the first time we played it, since the tutorial didn't really, to me, wasn't very helpful, because we just done the basic tutorial. We didn't go into the
Right.
the extended tutorial. And I'm like, okay, whatever. It seems like not that complicated, but when you started pulling from the same pool of words, if you went to set up an insult and then you took the line, I'm like, well, then I'm left with nothing to use. And then it was like, I kept forgetting that you drink the tea to rotate your personal ones, and then it was like I figured that out, but then half the time that fucked me. I'm like, what? This game just hates me. And my guy was offended by everything. Albert's a fucking bitch. Fuck Albert. He's a fucking bitch. I'm like, God damn it! Like, Uber, all three is just fucking lambasted the piss out of me. I'm like, my insult was like halfway good. That's worth 6 points. Theirs was like, your hair is worse than a train's hair, and I'm like, what? 9 million points. It's like, what the hell is that?
Roasted.
I'm like, I don't even, personally, I don't care what you say about my hair. So, like, I have a thick skin, but that character I chose was a bitch.
It did throw me for a loop, though, that we pulled from the same pool, because the training tutorial did not include that.
It didn't seem
So
to, yeah.
I didn't know until the first match.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's almost
there's some stragy with this game for sure.
It's risk reward all the way.
And like I said, I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing everyone else's matches because everyone I was involved in I fucking hated. So I'm hoping that your guys' was a lot better than mine. And this is the first week. Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
No,
Go.
you-
I'm personally excited for Baker and Fatti. I
Yeah.
feel like they were the strong ones here in this
Yeah,
game, and
Yeah.
I want to see them go at it.
We
The
thrive.
way
we had
did
we had a
this-
battle for the ages.
And we recorded this in separate voice chats, so really, Panther and I didn't know anything that's going on between Fatti and Baker.
Yeah,
so
yeah, we were separated.
Yeah,
this will be new.
Yeah,
for
so
us
it's,
to
yeah,
watch.
so when the weekly comes out, it's gonna be each section will be broke up. Like mine and Baker, we went first against each other, and Fatti and Uber went together. So we'll play it like in that order. I'll try to put them in an order it makes sense or whatever best I can. But yeah, so yeah, the weekly is going to be just the matches that everyone else did. So it'll be interesting for me to watch the other ones because I don't know them. We were just separate voice
Right.
channels, so I have no idea what happened. So, but yeah, I mean, like I said, I like the idea of the game. The premise is kind of interesting because it's definitely a different type of video game. But I think it should be your own pool of words, and you shouldn't see what the other person's lining up before the actual. Let's drop. Okay, you're ready to go. Once your insult's ready, you're ready. You each have so much time to make one, and then you drop them in. I think that would be a hell of a lot funnier.
Right. So how the game works currently is as you're choosing words from the same pool, it's almost like a scroll that it shows you, and it's got 10 or 12 different variations of like partial phrases or things. So we pull from the same pool, which is part of Panther's problem here. And you know what? I kind of agree, but only like 40%. I do lean more heavily in favor of I like the immediate competition of it is that, it was very satisfying to pull a word like and have the other guy go, God damn it, because I knew exactly what happened.
Yeah,
I got him.
I get that part of it as well, but I just found it was one time you have and there twice, one time and be there once. So whoever chose first to pick like the first beginning of the insult, then would have the better shot at picking up the better insult, then to also pick up the and insult, because then you have to put them in proper English order. You couldn't pick them and then move them around. So it was like you're at a disadvantage at times if you had to pick second.
Well,
right?
not necessarily though, because it's the option, that risk reward that Fatti and I went back and forth on. We really, really had great matches. Actually, all of the ones that I faced Fatti were fantastic because I only won by I had to have had 1 point left. That's it. That was the first match that we played.
Mm-hmm.
And then when we had our rematch, we ended up doing 2 rounds of sudden death because we knocked each other out at the same time. But it's risk reward because, Fatti was using these elaborate like paragraphs on me. And I was kind of hitting him with a little more immediate, like shorter ones just to get some earlier points. And then he had a few moments to where I think in hindsight, Fatti, you would have beat me had you not banked on the new set of words from your drinking your tea.
Yeah, if I didn't get greedy, I think the competition would have been very different, but
Yeah.
it was good.
I definitely understand like your point of being the risk reward, but like I said, I just found that every time I tried to do something, especially when we got to like re-roll your words, I'm like, one word I didn't know what the fuck it was supposed to be because I've never seen it before. So
Because we're not British.
And then Uber asked you what a loo was. I'm like, well, it's a fucking bathroom, dude. Like, I know some of them, but I mean, and the thing is too is to figure out what insult upsets your character the most. To know that was the, like, in other words, if it was like, but it seemed my character was upset by everything.
Right. Yeah.
So-
Albert, it wasn't a combination of like what offends Albert. It's just like basic human contact offended him, and every point, every sentence was just devastating.
Yeah. I chose my character poorly, but like I said, I understand the point of the game, and like I get the whole, challenge of trying to pick the words and stuff. I got frustrated because every time I tried to do anything, it was like, well, I don't have a word to carry on the sentence because there's no word to choose from. Like it was I don't know. It just wasn't for me.
Well, and it's not a game that, I don't think that I would ever get really excited about, to tell somebody or even necessarily to advocate and say, like, you should spend your time on this. But as a throwaway, like, even at full price, I think this game is like $1.59 or something, And at that price, I can say that it's fairly enjoyable, you know, for the cost factor of it. And even if it was a free game, you know, like I could, you know, insult some friends on this. It was a fun little thing for us to do.
Yeah.
It was the perfect game of the week, I thought. Like, it's a perfect game for us four to play for an hour and have some fun with, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm with you. Like, I probably wouldn't hop on and just start insulting strangers. Because, you know, you can just play Call of Duty and do that over voice chat.
Right. You can insult and kill them.
And then I don't have a pool of words to pick from.
But as far as like getting you guys on some British puns, that was a blast. I had a ton of fun doing that.
Yeah, it was creative.
Panther, who doesn't know the English language. I don't know what they.
I've been at a school longer than most of you've been alive. So there you go.
I love that they penalized you for grammar mistakes. That's awesome.
And I'm positive. Yes. I'll have to look back, and I'm positive there's one time they nailed me on one, and it wasn't an improper. I have to watch the replay. I could be totally wrong. Maybe I just got frustrated and I just picked whatever was there and I didn't give a shit. But yeah, I picked one. I'm like, what do you mean it's not proper English? It continued the sentence. Anyways, maybe I was wrong.
I just wonder at some of the point values that they gave, because there was some clear examples for me personally to where I was like, oh, that's decent, and you know, it'd be just devastating and have like 20 some odd points, you know, from the enemy. Like, Fatti got me with one that I was like, you know, that's not half bad, but he just killed it on points. And I hit him with one that I thought was going to be a slayer, and I got nothing.
Yeah, that happened to me.
I'm like, God damn, what the? Who's scoring these? That's not fair. Yeah. But I don't know. Maybe it's just I don't get British humor.
Well, there you go.
Something lost in translation, but I thought it was fun, and it was especially fun because we kind of had a tournament going in. You know, it was a group activity that we had. Like you said, you know what? I do feel like this is a perfect experience for us.
It's definitely something different. We'll put it in that category.
Yeah, for sure. But every other game that we've chosen has been extremely competitive in some way, but never like this, which is cool. And also just, you know, almost the playground style of insults that it had on some of them. Like, we could make some pretty bad combinations, and on some I translated, you know, from kind of the polite English way of saying it to a little more raw version. So you'll see that in the video as well. But just some of these insults were adorable, and I thought that was great.
I just like the one I made up. Your hat has bad breath, because there was nothing else for me to use. I'm like, all right, your hat has bad breath, because there's nothing else for me to choose from.
Right.
Yeah, there was one that Baker used against me, and it was like something about like taking away my wife or something, and he just piped up and he was like, and by that I mean I fucking defiled her, and I lost it. I died.
There was one I had against Uber, something about your wife wants to have a romp with your mother or something, and scored no points. It scored like nothing. Like, your wife's fucking your mother, but yet it's like that's not an insult to him. I'm like, I guess the British are into that, I guess.
Well, it'll be great. I can't wait for you guys to see the matches.
I don't even want to show mine. I'm not embarrassed by mine. I don't.
No, you better put it up. Don't pull an Albert and bitch out on us.
It can't get worse than Fatti checking out burger joints in Ironside. Completely waving the white flag, just tucking his AK-47 away and just checking out what's on the menu.
A man's gonna eat.
When he pipes up, and I saw that in the video where he goes, you know, that's just a Big Mac. I'm like, he's out. He's checked out. That's it. Shit. All right. Well, so can we give it the vote and say that it's going to be 3 out of 4?
I think that's fair.
Yeah.
3 out of 4.
Panther,
yeah.
3. You want to make this 4 out of 4?
I mean, 3 of us give this a positive experience, and Panthers.
Yes, it's a good game with friends. I think it's great, and it may be good. I don't know. PC is not really a good couch co-op experience,
right?
But that would be a cool like couch game, you know, couch play game.
I'll say this. If you could sort out the proper way. Like I said, maybe I just had bad luck. I don't know. Maybe you guys, when you watch it back, you'll see where I made mistakes. But I mean, to play it again would be too painful. So I would say no.
I mean, maybe get a dictionary and studying, and you might like it.
Learn them words you say.
I'm just saying.
I graduated, man, but it was a long fucking time ago.
Yeah, I think you'll enjoy the video better. This will be one that you'll see other people, like us, having a better experience, and you'll probably get a better laugh out of it.
Yeah, I probably will, and maybe I'll see mistakes that I made when I watch it back, or how I should have played it, and maybe that'll change my opinion of it. But as I sit right now until I go back and watch the footage, since it hasn't been edited yet, I definitely didn't have a good time.
Yeah. Well, there's got to be some appeal to it, because when I won the first game against you, Panther, at the very end, like the kind of lobby end game thing that we went into, it showed that I won one game, and there is a ranking system, and I was ranked, I think, 80,000 for winning one game. So there is at least 80,000 people that bought this.
Yeah. Like I said, like, spend some time and maybe figure out the strategy a little better and how some of the insults work against certain characters, you probably would do well. But like I said, certain characters, you could insult their mother, they didn't give a shit, but if you insulted their clothes, they lost their mind. So I mean, it's to figure out what insult works on the character is part of it, and it took me a while to figure that out, and then to figure out, well, I don't know what insult works best in this person. So like, I mean, I figured out like what Uber's character was, because he had the lady was their age and death, but there was hardly any options come up at all in the whole fucking time I played to throw those insults. It was always your mother, your father, your son, your wife, and like that's Albert could fucking cry like a bitch every time. It's like the mama jokes were all about his mama in real life, and he hated them, so he cried. So fuck Albert.
He just cracked under the pressure. He couldn't take it.
Yeah. So it wasn't me. It was Albert.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's gonna do it here. We actually got to a lot more news than I thought. I'm a little proud of us there. We did better.
Yeah.
And definitely happy to have Fatti back. You round us out, brother, and I'm happy to see you back. And congratulations once again.
Oh, that's so heartwarming.
Very wholesome.
Yeah,
it's
a wholesome episode this time. Yeah,
we really bonded this time. This may have been our best episode yet, I think, as a whole.
You say that, but Panther's like, I fucking hated this.
Yeah,
he's looking forward to editing.
Yeah,
he's done.
Yeah. Well, I mean, hey, how many fucking Russian fishing formulas? There was 3 of those, and I didn't drink myself to death on a bottle of vodka, so I think I done well. Yeah. So I think I should handle this for this week.
You'll be all right.
Yeah.
All right, so guys, everything that we talked about will, of course, be linked in the description of the YouTube video. For you guys on SoundCloud, thanks for checking us out. For you guys on YouTube, we've got our Twitter handles and everything already linked as well. So if you don't follow us there, go ahead and do that. And from all the guys here at Beyond the Controller, thanks so much for listening, and we will see you next time.